Hey guys, welcome to this video, and in this video I will show you how to make this altofo mango and without sketching it. So here we are, let's begin. First of all, let's get a reference. We do need references though. So grab a reference from Google. And then we're gonna go ahead and make a rectangle, okay? So we're gonna make it about this big and this wide. You don't have to make it exactly the same size as me, but roughly around the size. And we're gonna go ahead and just make one edge stick out on the left side. And then we can go ahead and round it off, we just kind of play with the curves a bit on this seeing what looks best and what doesn't. And then this one really just playing with it and looking at your reference and see how to copy your reference, or use reference effectively, I guess. And then we're just gonna go ahead and make this point go up like so, and then we're gonna go ahead and add another point to the bottom near that bottom right corner. And then we're going to go ahead and grab the top and just bump it up like that. And then add the other point, make it into a smart curve. And then just round it off, kind of make it into a smoother shape. And then we're just playing with these nodes, making the curves really curvy and smooth as possible. But also not too smooth, because if you notice that the mango isn't like super smooth. It's smooth, but not super smooth. It's kind of jagged. So we're going to leave a little bit of jaggedness into this mango. And we're gonna go ahead and just make this organic shape with like a very pointy point at the end on the right side on the bottom. And then we're gonna go ahead and just make that whole side just kind of curve upward like a lip, or like a little dip of like a hill kind of a deal. And that's all this really is, just trying to get your base shape of that mango to look right. And then we're gonna go ahead and just grab that point and then just curve it out, so it's not pointy, but it's kind of pointy but round at the same time. And so, after we do all that, just go ahead and just play with your stroke pressure in Affinity Designer. And in order to play with stroke pressure, just go to your stroke pressure. And then we're gonna go ahead and make this little rectangle right here for the stem of the mango, and we're just gonna go ahead and make it wide on the bottom and a little bit more narrow on the top. And then we're just gonna go ahead and round it off and make it like a complete round, like very round, like a nipple pretty much is what we're doing. So no, it's not like rectangle. And then we go ahead and make the leaf. And in order to make the leaf, we're just gonna go ahead and grab two circles and intersect them, and use your intersect tool to get that middle piece, cut out that middle piece, and you get that leaf, a really good looking leaf. And now we're just gonna play with the positioning of the leaf of where we want it. And I was originally gonna have it on top, laying on the mango like so, but I ended up not liking how this looked, and it looked for me it just looked weird, like it didn't come off the stem correctly. And it like laid on the mango all weird, so I ended up changing it. And then like every time I would like cut out my shapes, my actual mango would like lose its shape completely. It would just bugging out on me. So I ended up changing the position of the leaf once I figured out that this isn't gonna work. It's not how it doesn't look good. I don't like how it looks. It looks weird to me. So I went ahead and just eventually scrapped the idea and just moved the leaf to a different position. And that's what that's okay. You gotta do that here and there sometimes. And as you'll see, I'm just playing around with all of these options that I could before I really rotated the leaf position, because I did not want to do it. I wanted the leaf right here because I thought it looked good, but then I realized it's not working. So I went ahead and scrapped that idea, and because the stem just looked weird, and so nothing worked. Eventually changed the position. So change your positioning on things if you don't like how they're looking or turning out. So I went ahead and just rotated it around a little bit counterclockwise, and so that way the leaf is pointing towards the upper right hand corner of the screen. And then I was just playing with the shape of the leaf, and I was like, what, we'll just go ahead and leave it this really leafy shape. So now we're adding the details of the leaf. And in order to do that, we're going to play with our stroke pressure and make it pointy on one end and a bit more girthier on the bottom end. A thicker stroke, girthy. And so we went ahead and just play with the positioning like that. And then we're going to go ahead and add more details of the leaf. And same idea, just your stroke pressure. We're going to go ahead and make them girthy on the bottom and more thin out on the top as they go towards the ends of the leaf, the edges of the leaf, because things are disappearing. And we're gonna go ahead and make our shape, and then you can go ahead and duplicate that shape like so multiple times. Control J on your keyboard to duplicate after you position it, and it should just position itself. And then we're just gonna go ahead and mess around with the little details and move them around a little bit and make them more organic like. So just kind of mess with the positioning of certain of these guys, that way it's not so, what do you call it, so flat, so boring. And now go ahead and duplicate the whole stroke layer, and then lock that stroke layer, and then rename our second layer as color, because we're gonna use the strokes for the color. And what I usually do is, once I get all the main strokes down, I go ahead and delete everything from the color layer. Like, I delete all the unnecessary lines, like the details, like all those little strokes. I get rid of them, and I just keep the main base strokes that I'm going to need to color things in pretty quick. And so we're going to go ahead and make this like an yellowish orangish color, and so that way it's kind of bright but not super bright and unrealistic looking. And so we go ahead and just do that, play around with it a little bit, make it a little bit more reddish. And then now we're going with the leaf, we're going to go ahead and just turn it into like this yellowish green color, and then a little bit more yellow than green, then pure green, more yellow in it. And then with the stem, we're just gonna go ahead and turn it into a light brown, almost the color of the mango, but not quite. So it's still, you can still tell like it's a different color. It's brown compared to orange. And then what we do now is just make a new layer above the color layer and copy the mango color and paste it onto that new layer. And this new layer is going to be our shadows. So what we're going to do is go ahead and just cut out a shape like that with our two existing shapes that we already have, and then just make it into a darker version of the base color of the mango, and then just lower the opacity, and now you have your shadow on the mango. And so my light is coming from the top, so I'm gonna go ahead and make another shadow on the leaf like so, on the bottom of it, like on the bottom corner kind of deal of the leaf. And it's gonna be not as dark as the mango shadow, because, well, it's closer to the light, so it won't be as dark. It'll be just a little bit dark, but not as dark, because like I said, it's not as close to the light. And then we're just gonna go ahead and add a little shadow on the stem. You can't really tell that much, but I still think it adds a good, like, it makes the whole illustration just pop that much more, that little tiny detail. Sometimes it's all in detail, it's what really pay attention to your details, and I'm trying to improve on my details a lot. So yeah, so I just play around with a lot of this stuff in order to get good, to get better. And so now to add the other shadow, I went ahead and just made a stroke, and then made it like a 30-point stroke. And then we went ahead and make on the stroke pressure, just make the edges narrower than the middle part. That way you kind of get that like thick, from narrow to thick to narrow again look. And then we're just gonna go ahead and turn it into the shade of that first initial shadow, and then put those shades underneath that shadow layer, and then just lower the opacity down, and that way it's darker in that shadow, like, because it's farther away from the light, so there's darker spots of the mango. And then once we do that, once we set up our shadows, we go ahead and just add a new layer for our highlights, and just the same process, really. Just make your stroke, use that pressure stroke that you already have, and just make more strokes, and then go ahead and make the color of the highlight the same color of the mango, and then just make it like a white version of it, not super white, 100% white, but whiter than the color. That way it still blends in pretty nicely with the mango itself. And then just lower the opacity to how bright or how strong you want that highlight. And then that's pretty much it. Really, just play around with your highlights. And so for this, the highlight, I just made it like an S shape, like that. That way it follows nicely along with the shape of the mango. And I believe with this highlight, I ended up getting rid of it, or I add another highlight towards the bottom and just make it a little bit lighter. I get rid of this highlight because I thought it was unnecessary, and it just made the mango way too busy. So I got rid of it. Didn't like how it looked. And yeah, just make a highlight for the leaf, and the same process. We make a circle, and then just the lighter version of that leaf, and that's about it. So yeah, once you get that down, you're done with your mango. Just export it, share it on Instagram, share it with your friends, make it into a sticker, do whatever you want with it. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you did or if you didn't. Leave a like on the video, please. And then also comment and subscribe, and just have fun and have a great day. And yeah, I'll see you later. See you next time. Goodbye. Have fun. Peace.